Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for our final match of the day here. Still joined by my beautiful co-host, Connie, and we're going to be taking us through this last match of the day, and it is a interesting but somewhat underwhelming series.
Absolutely. We have Texas A&M Maroon and UST Esports. And the context that you might have missed out of from the last block of series to starting this new one now is that Texas, of course, are through to the uppercut. UST's last match they just played was to stand a chance against the uppercut. But given the way the division standings are right now, UST are literally one place shy, and UTA Esports will be going through, which is one of the biggest heartbreaks you could ever ask for, considering you look at the season records. I mean, finishing 4-4, always a huge gamble when it comes to the, the mid portion and the cutoff point for the division restructure. And given again that they are a very fantastic control team, I mean, UST, let's see where their heads are at, man. I mean, just to really sort of gloss over the stats again, Texas A&M Maroon, very dominant. You look towards the season record, the hard point, and the S&D and the control, all positive across the board, especially on the hard point where they are a force to be reckoned with, only losing one. And, I mean, albeit they only really have lost to Oklahoma Christian in the Sun Belt group. So, again, lineal second place, we'll call them, in terms of the, where the restructure will be. And that's where things get really interesting, Remy, as well. The Sun Belt is just so stacked. I think it's one of the more heavily contested divisions when you look at the placement of the seeded teams in the College COD alongside new unranked teams. UST were coming into one of the groups of death here. So, I mean, in terms of real performance and skill, I mean, listen, let's just see how things pan out. The records speak for themselves so far, and unfortunately, they're not going to be in the top cut.
Well, I guess if you are UST, I can understand how, the mental might be a little bit flat. Maybe they don't give it their all this game, but I would like to see it, still at least, right? It's all a learning experience. There's still, next season as well if you're looking for certain particular goals. But let's take a look at the maps. Skyline, Vault. If it goes the distance, Protocol, Skyline. The double Vault, pretty standard. Skyline map one as well, pretty standard. At least gets the guns warm. I think UST are already going to be pretty hot coming out of that last series because they've just gone straight from one to the other. But we'll see. I don't want to count them out. I don't want to say that, they're not going to try because, a match is a match. At least in my mind, if I was going to say if I was in that section that UST's in, I would still give my all in every game. It's fun to play. I mean, that's why everyone does it, right? It's an enjoyable experience to play, improve, test your limits. So let's get things started here on map number 1, Skyline Hardpoint, UST versus Texas A&M Maroon. Going to be an interesting series. Expecting Texas to take it. We'll see if UST are going to at least make it interesting.
Well, so far, we already opened up on the first hard point here. 3 layers of verticality to kick off Skyline, and already Texas A&M stack a player straight onto point, cover piano well, have awkward head glitches to try and chip away at the UST defense, and it creates this lovely opening segment. Now, in terms of the hill, very 50 so far. Not really spawn controls the priority for both teams, but simply posturing and shouldering the angles. They want to get hot early on, and Skyline's a map that tends to reward momentum rather than placement.
2 players jumping into the P1. Still P2 rotation as well for Texas. No one really close from the side of UST. You can see now it's going to be very difficult to find those rotations for P2. You've got 13 seconds. There needs to be a break. There needs to be someone rotating through. A route is being made down the bottom. It is going to be number 4, Slicks, trying to get that route, but it's being washed heavily by Blake. And, I mean, I've got to say, Texas looking pretty solid so far. Does find some sort of opening, but will it come to fruition? Yet to be seen.
Sire holding on the hill by himself here. First and seconds do go the way of Texas A&M Maroon, and still a 17-point margin. The P1 was pretty much a contested hill for the most part. But now he's into P2, where we start placing the focus. UST are performing some fantastic break attempts here. Unfortunately, the lives do not carry over to actually flip the spawns, so we'll see Texas A&M momentarily regain control, although it's still very much a head-to-head matchup here for the P2. Rotations to P3, though, again, not quite questioned yet. Expect UST to start making routes soon.
Yeah, kill feed lining up red. You see Slick's trying to get over towards P3 right now. Looks like most players are stacked. There was a route trying to be made from Blake, but not quite going his way. Slick's now in. does get the pick. So P3 looks like it's in control so far of UST. Lunosity up in the mid as well, trying to cause some damage. But Voldo is able to get on in there, and so many players dropping so quickly from the side of UST. The spawns flip, the player gets dropped down a hill. Now you can start to see P3 underway for the side of Texas. And I mean, UST, no real answer back there. It was just a clean break, a clean wipe. They do get some picks on the re-entry, but Voldo just shouldering the angle, trying to get some sort of entry in with the help of Vanity. Not quite going their way, but never mind. The break comes on in. It's traded back in by Blake. Nothing really happening so far from the side of UST that's giving Texas a run for their money.
Oh, clean kills. The final one won by Valdo for the remaining scrap time on the P3. And UST already installing some fantastic scrap time opportunities and clawing back the deficit. Now we can start approaching towards that money hill. And look at the way in which they've set this one up. Flipped up the spawns, stuck one in bathroom, one deep with the AR. Has to hold his life in this awkward situation because Texas A&M have broken through from the top bedroom and just created this lovely flip. So yeah, we start to see at least now the fighting control portion of the hard point still in either team's grasp, but UST again are getting shoved off quite comfortably now, and they have to start picking up the pace to try and regain some control.
Coming in, Slicks in the back line. Still looking to try and get a break on in. UST giving it a crack. Still 40 seconds on this time. The slide shell comes on in, but Sire still doing his best to stay alive. Does finally drop, but there's a lot of players coming back on in. That'll be 2 more. It's a late 4, and now you're going to have to re-break if you're UST. This is a lot of time Texas are grabbing. Slicks with a nice kill up top. Might be able to get a second here as well as he finds the routes. He is slipping, sliding all over the place, able to find so much value. Unfortunately, he's still got to deal with Koala, the coat of arms of Australia, but he is carrying Skyline right now.
Oh, a lovely step as well. We're seeing Blake play very deep here in the situation. And again, they want to try and put all the scrap time here, Texas A&M. Knowing P1 will primarily be a UST hill and a heavy focus, this is a beautiful route from Koala. He's also spawned a player into Piano, so this is an awkward split. 2 points of pressure can be applied by Texas A&M. And UST, originally setting up for a P1, couldn't quite get their hook sunk into the hill. And it's going to be another contest now to try and get themselves at least a foot back in the game.
Coming on in as able to find a pick. I mean, so far, UST yet to find their ground. Sire jumps in the hill. He's able to get a nice pick as well. Still playing his life on P1. Trophy system in hand. Doesn't decide to use it. Get taken out from up top. It's a trade, pinstripe, kill feed, but still so much damage coming in from these ARs from Texas. UST yet to touch the point and still trying to give it their all. But unfortunately, there's a lot of pressure being gained here from Texas A&M Maroon. And UST just with no real answer to it, trying to make these routes in the back line. Voldo gets him a nice 2. At least that spawns for P2, potentially. If he takes down these players, they are spawning close. An unfortunate fail of the block. And I think he does know that they're spawning back here, but he has so much work to be done, and he does get taken out. So already, you can see UST struggling to try and break on in, and they just get swamped.
Still, fantastic work from Lunosity and Koala just to keep things in order and try and keep momentum in place. I mean, we don't talk about the scoreline much here, but 150 points. Yeah, Texas A&M on all cylinders, just happy to be in the top cut for sure. And UST, deflated, really upset with today's results. Still sinking their teeth into the match, clawing away. But I must say, in terms of what can be done, Sire's on that 5 spree. The spawns are locked in now for scrap time for Texas A&M. We'll cross 220 if UST cannot cross the midway point. Some lovely southside action as well from Slicks to try and create the flip. And they've got 3 players on towards the point. It will be 8 seconds of scrap time focus, so they will get some time on the board. But look towards rotation to new. It'll be an overload by Texas A&M, and the fundamentals are way too powerful to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see that UST is not in their top form right now. It's showing in the gameplay. They do get a 4 down, though. So at least they're able to break on the P3. But, I mean, so far, this performance that we're seeing is a defeated one at best. And you really can't blame them. It's a tough situation to deal with. They're still gritting their teeth going through it, as you said yourself. And that deserves props, you know, in and of itself. But P3 online, soaking up some time. Finally, we see some UST action going in on one of these hills. They do have the hold. They do have the kills. So maybe we see Texas drop some time here and they reach the triple digits. Would be something. But 20 seconds to grab here of scrap, and that would put Texas just shy of 7 points on the finish. Blake just playing his life in the time as best as he can. Vanity takes care of him, stops that scrap time from coming through. It's at least something. The Lonosity now looking to try and reach out, maybe get some of these, I guess, lone players coming in through the rotation, and makes it very awkward for the side of UST.
I mean, it's a really punishing setup, Remy, for Texas A&M. They're exhausting all the exits, and AR posted across the map to make sure that UST can't cross the line towards the point, and it just makes it even more of an interesting match.
Coming on in, Slicks with Albahaz looking to try and get some stuff done, staying alive, but Texas looking to close this match out here. Break comes on in, he's got one more for himself. Koala does get dropped, the spawn's flipped. It's a nice kill, but a team kill actually comes through for the side of Texas. Still looking to close this out, needs 8 points. Voldo drops, but look at Sire on the route. He's able to clean up maybe 2 here. He does get spotted, but does find the kill he needs. It's a break, it's a flip, and it's a game set match. Texas with a nice map 1 to start off this series well.
A fantastic opener, and definitely two different I can't find a word for it. I'd say 2 different ambiences between the 2 teams, right? You can tell from UST and the conditions they needed today to make the top cut. I mean, they of course had Tamu and Texas State to play. They needed to make sure that they went 2-0, had a 6-3 map count at least, and things just didn't go their way. So this feels like to them a consolation match, and Texas A&M in good spirits, happy with their results so far this season in the group of death. It really is just one of the more tougher tales. I mean, if you look towards the numbers as well, you can just see exactly what was happening over the map. And even when the line graph comes up as well, there wasn't really any footing for UST to, you know, try and eclipse the lead or have any real chance to go over, apart from the first P1 where it was so even. Then after that, Texas A&M prioritized rotation, averaged around 39 seconds upon each hill across the full set that we did see today in this map, and it is just astounding numbers that just, you know, create this sense of fear. And I really could not say a team escalating better than Texas A&M in that situation. Yeah, that's why I talk for America, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we do see some insane results so far in College COD. That restructure coming up, yeah, let's put them all together and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, S&D is coming up for UST. At least they don't have to be quite on the ball with all the rotations, thinking ahead. I mean, Hardpoint is one of those game modes where you really have to switch on the brain and think very ahead of time and be worrying about a lot of different things at the same time. Search and Destroy a little bit more slower paced tactical, so UST might handle a little bit better with the mental. Whether or not that'll happen, I'm not sure. It was an extremely dominant Hardpoint, and honestly, today we've seen, I mean, numerous hard points where it's been very one-sided. Sort of 250-107, 250-117, 250-90. You know, they're all around the same kind of ballpark with the hard points. They've both been 3-0 coincidentally, but Search and Destroy was the closest that we've seen these teams perform on. We might see it here from UST. He's going to go to a Vault Search next and a Vault Control after that. If UST is able to get a map, then we see Protocol and potentially Skyline, but judging off the start of this, as you said, 2 different atmospheres that we're seeing. You know, 2 different kind of feelings from both of these teams, and you know, that's just how it rolls sometimes. Texas have nothing to lose, UST have nothing to gain. It's how it is. It's how it's going to play out. Unfortunately, that is how the cookie crumbles in this sort of matchup. But we're going to get things started on a map 2. It is going to be a Vault Search and Destroy. Texas A&M up 1-0. UST looking to try and grab this map.
And this is where we start to see interesting things. So the first map was, of course, UST's pick. Now we're going to go on to a Texas A&M map, a Vault S&D. This is where now we are not just going out of familiar territory, but we are going into a set map that has been proven well time and time again so far throughout the round robin league phase here in College COD for Texas A&M. And not to mention, again, they've only really lost this map to Oklahoma Christian. Goes to show you just how good they are at it. That first blood has been drawn. Slicks has now been deleted into the next round, and the bombs will go down for a post-plant situation. UST in a 3v4 have the overload and can convert if they can get the kills.
Auto getting aggressive, just gets deleted by Koala. 2 kills come back for UST though, and it isn't a post plan, so you got 30 seconds to work with. Josiah now in the pool, looking to try and grab this pick, but comes out on top. A 1 versus 2 for Lonosity. I don't know if he's going to quite be able to find this. He does have a sub and AR to work with if he so chooses. Looking to try and get the angle on here. There's a shoulder coming in. Some shots go out as well, but a nice chal, and wow, UST go out bang on the search and destroy, and it's something I was not expected. They came out swinging.
Absolutely fantastic round. A 2v4 at one point as well, and has really coordinated a nice strategy here just to recontrol the site. They let it go for a second to try and get some exit kills, and it is a risky maneuver when you do that, to go up site control and not know if the defuse is happening with a 35-second window. Have to go for a reclear, but they just predicted the pathing well from Texas A&M, and they didn't scramble quite badly in the opening round. So now as we flip it over towards the attacking round of Texas A&M, and just where things might look different, a set nade will go over the top through the middle of the map, but so far, both teams again committing towards pool, kills on balcony, and opening blood will go Texas' way again.
First victim has, second victim potentially up here shortly. Slick's getting aggressive, will grab the kill. Never mind, Josiah got to strike. Now a 2 versus 4, sorry. Blake getting down the bomb. And it's going to be a post-plant situation as Vanity tries to route around the side, maybe find some of these picks in the back line, but one is watching. It's going to be Luminosity. Does grab the kill, a nice little snap there. Will leave Volta in a 1 versus 4 in a very tough situation. So he tries to route all the way through the back on him.
And this is not the ideal spot or the situation that UST imagined on the attacking round, but still, wonderful adjustments and just excellent positional knowledge from Texas A&M in that situation. Especially again when they've now gotten back-to-back rounds with first bloods, albeit again, we talk about the conditions of what it takes to win an S&D, always at the beginning of every process, having a man about it straight away, just is where you start to develop your strategy really well. And Texas A&M, again, on their pick right now, tying up the score at 1 apiece, now floating over to UST's next attacking round. And what can be said already is that has already a win condition for them. Phenomenal understanding the plays and the reads in S&D to a nice degree, and they're now positioning themselves comfortably in A with trophies and no utility yet being thrown, so they can save it for a post plant.
A lot of utility to work with. Shots coming out from Vanity, not quite getting the kill, and unfortunately gets caught. You've got a lot of players coming out the back while playing his life, but 3 players dropping like that on the side of UST, and it's Has left in a 1 versus 4, and I like what I'm seeing out of UST. It's just not enough. They're just losing these gunfights. They're getting outplayed by Texas around these rotations, these rebreaks, and it's just not going their way. They are getting the bomb down comfortably. They're getting first picks here and there, but so far, very tough situation to deal with from Texas.
I know, and it's really difficult for St. Thomas as well to even map the players from that break attempt. What I did like to see from Texas A&M in the situation is the isolations were pretty much clinical, and they're really hard to do in pool as well. Just think about all the areas of cover and the expected AR hotspots, Remy. You can play deep with an AR and hold the bomb site. You can be aggressive, and it's always a big gamble to actually predict the pathing, but Texas have done so well so far to understand UST's tendencies and the key habits so far. We all know everyone goes towards A if possible. If ever you're in a 1vx or a 2v2, B sometimes gets mentioned in the conversation. But in this opening break-off, it's very static from Texas, just to re-clear mid. And look at what UST have done. They've gone underground straight away to create the verticality.
Flicks on in. Trying to get to that P2 spot. Not quite getting the kill. Doesn't die either, though. Vanity's there for the help. Voldo as well in. Big 2 kills. Koala does spot 1, but I think he was also spotted going down there. Now you're in a very weird kind of situation if you're Texas A&M, where you're both very separated, you're both very isolated. You haven't gotten any kills for the round.
Oh, clean shots from Koala. Lovely double just to open up the round. Yeah, this is a pretty nice way to equalize numbers in the map. 2v2, 40 seconds left. Bomb has been dropped, and UST are sitting right on top of it. Have nothing more to worry about. Luminosity has to throw a stun to re-clear, his chance to open up a window. But instead, he's just going callously into the site, loses his life. And UST read the pathing, check the 2 main exit points onto the site, and it's just a simple, tidy round.
Yeah, UST, great play there. Stick together, don't give them up, don't get rid of those engagements. While they're doing our job of getting 2, but when it comes down to it, you've got to engage that site, you've got to try and break on in, and unfortunately with no utility, it's a bit difficult to try and clear out those players. Luminosity on the AR as well, making that very awkward. So far, so good for UST, at least in the search and destroy. A very different team to what we saw in the hard point, and we might have an interesting series. This could potentially see map 4 if UST continue.
Look at what we can understand so far from UST. Again, floating towards the A site this time around. Interesting set nade from Koala. They expect to push mid, but so far, UST haven't done such a thing. Has opened at the first blood on the north side of the map, so the overload in the middle is still even across both sides. The post plant, though, look at the aggression from UST, just trying to pinch off Texas from a deep route through mid. Excellent work from Vanity. Now at this point, it's going to be a tough one for Texas A&M. Have to control pool, have to control balcony, and make a push.
Rossi and Blake trying to work in tandem here. Grab these plays from UST. Bomb is in the A site. Has gets the kill, so Lunosity yet again left to try and 1v3 and do the impossible, but it's going to be very difficult. He has to grab the player deep in spawn, has to grab this player towards A, and he'll get immediately re-swung if he's able to grab it. Unfortunately, UST take care of him, and they do take the lead, Connie. So 3-2 up, UST. Doing pretty good on Search and Destroy, and it's showing they still have some fight in them, even though there are really everything's against them.
It really is one of the more interesting sort of notions. I mean, they are very, very comfy Vault S&D as well. I mean, if you look at their record, they've only really played it once, according to the season stats. They've only lost really... In the 3 series, they lost as well, make it 4th. I mean, it was always going to be mentioned. Red Card S&D, Skyline S&D, and Protocol S&D. So this is one of the better maps. And they definitely have got wonderful task cohesion to understand where the bomb needs to be and how the system should look. But look at this opening set play from UST. It's aggressive, but met with nades. It slows them down. Slicks gets the first blood.
Again, Texas struggling here on this Vault search. Looking good there for a little bit. UST finding so much value here. First blood yet again. They do swing the bomb over towards the B side, so that is free for the taking. Everyone stacked towards A for the side of UST, so now you're in a post plant. How do you respond?
Well, look at the opener right here from Texas. They've actually retreated from bomb. UST have the overload as well. And it's a lot of pressure here on Lunosity to read the pinch because he has to try and cover and clear from a long angle. But Sire's doing all the hard work. Even again, has to retreat safely. Can hold this by himself. Be a distraction.
Oh my god.
Why are they running into the red dot? That's 3 in a row. On for the ace. Oh. And he's been gifted it on a silver platter. A Christmas present wrapped for Texas A&M. And I've never seen an ace quite like it. Held one position. They all ran into him. How can you define excellence? And how can you define an ace when it has just simply come in the fashion it has, Remy?
Yeah, that was a lovely, lovely series of kills. They were down the player. They switch it to B. It's free. Then they lock in the post plant there. And, I mean, Josiah as well, just making it look easy for the side of Texas. And not an easy thing to do at all in that situation as well. But he just lines them all up, one by one. The AR strikes, and now you've got an attacking round coming out from UST. Not going for that quick A hit that they've been doing time and time again. Instead, going for the mid hit. They do catch a player off guard. It will be Koala. So now a 3 versus 4. Yet again, UST with the first blood advantage. Will they be able to convert this time? Blake looking to test that. Josiah as well with the help. He's on a 5 spree. And now a 2 versus 3 for UST as they are very awkwardly trying to re-engage. And Josiah just doing so much on the map right now. Trying to do everything. It's a 1 versus 1. Voldo and Blake looking to try and hunt each other down. Blake running for the hills. Does get spotted. Think he got him on the repeak. Now he's watching for it. You've got a very tense 1v1 here with 40 seconds on the clock.
Nevada needs to get the bomb down on either side. Can he time the wrap perfectly? Well, the answer's no. A re-clear from balcony off the springboard. Yeah. But look back at the 2v1 as well, Remy. Both players from Texas A&M sprint across balconies, trying to position nearer to B. And Valdo's got the perfect timing to nearly get both of them. It was a ships in the night moment again, where the one lurking player finally appears. But just unfortunately, again, the bullet reg was not to be. So, still a close 1 round differential between both teams. We are in the mid round, ladies and gentlemen, so the strat book's been opened up for both sides. UST, love it towards A. Confident, at least, with Haz alive in the server to coordinate the mid-round strategy. Texas A&M, Koala, and Blake, the 2 main conductors for the orchestra. We float over towards A. Trophy down this time as well to block any utility coming in, so there's more room to have the guns up and more time to spare for Texas.
Blake on in, trying to get some shots out. Does find it. That's going to be 3 down for UST. This could potentially give a match point for Texas if Vanity does not make a freak clutch. The 1 versus 3 as he tries to route around, potentially finding something. does spot the player, goes on top of the truck. We'll get the angle on Luminosity, but this is taking a lot of time and giving up his position to a lot of players. That'll be round 5 secured for Texas and match point. Looking to go 2-0 up in this series. What was some great stuff from UST. It's just falling short here in these rounds, and not even due to massive fault. It's just these freak clutches coming out from Texas. They're getting the first bloods, they're getting the engagements in a lot of these rounds. Unfortunately, Texas just able to convert their kills a lot more cleanly, making this very awkward.
But where can Texas actually, perfect the strategy even more? I mean, UST are very formidable and a wonderful search and destroy team to play against, and definitely a fair contest for either side, regardless of results so far. Look at the opening as well. Both teams cross paths with each other. The interactions on pool, though, remain the same. Come on.
Oh, my
he
God.
Dives in to grab 2. Another one added as well to the board from Blake. And it's all down to Slicks, just slithering around the palm trees. Picks up 1, picks up 2.
Slicks!
Oh, the third. No, Remy, I can't watch.
Josiah trying to get out with his life now. What was this round? You've got a double kill from Koala. He's looking up. He's trying to snap his neck. It's not enough. The 1v3's in, and UST staying alive on this search. 4-5. Wow, what a round. Koala with the dolphin dive from the top rope, slamming everyone in that A site. Only for Slicks to come out with a 1 versus 3. Beautiful stuff. 1 by 1 on the chow is not going to happen. Shuts everything down. Beautiful round from UST. 4-5. Still hanging on.
Must be a massive miscommunication there from Texas A&M. How could all 3 players not look at palm trees at the same time and have their guns up ready? It just 3 beautifully micro-timed gunfights from UST has put pressure back on Texas to try and convert. And look at them sprinting towards A from both sides. At UST, have got free range in mid to try and open up a beautiful entry.
Blake on in. Plants the bomb. It's a free site for Texas. Now a 44 retake ensues. You've got Josiah as well, going around the side, looking to try and get something done. Slicks on in with a 4 streak, making it a 5. Still going strong. A kill drops, but Josiah is ready. Voldo now left. 1 versus 3, turn 1 versus 2. Can they do it for a second time in a row? 26 seconds on the clock. They know Voldo's left. He's trying to wait out the clock and maybe make a play, but I think they know that he is trying to wrap. He has to get the kills, and it has to be now. If they separate, it'll be all but over. The player's hard watching this. He needs to make the kills right now. Dolphin dives in, gets caught, and Texas shut it all down in the round 10. Wow, 6-4, a much closer game, a much more intense matchup in the search and destroy. Unfortunately, though, Texas going up 2-0, and we go to a control where UST are defeated. In the search and destroy, and it's tough, man. It's tough. UST go down, they don't make bottom cut, and then they come up with a search and destroy like this after the hard point. It's brutal. It's tough blows to take, but they're taking them on the chin. They've got to go to a map 3 and make this very, very, I guess, a tough win for Texas at most, right? 2-0 up. Texas looking solid. UST at least still fighting.
More interesting to note, when you look at the graph to explain the rounds and the conversions, usually, the first blood indicator would be spread across each winning round, but this time, Remy, I'm seeing about 4 or 5 rounds out of the 10 played, where first blood didn't even matter. Just goes to show you Vault and the spread of engagement. I mean, at any moment in time, a 4v4 could be a 4v1. We saw it dotted across this matchup, the head-to-head, so many times. And I think the real core memories to take away, again, a flawless ace from Texas, from UST, a crazy freak 1v3 to make it around 10. Nothing more you can ask for from either side here in a very fair fist fight of an S&D. But still, I mean, UST really showing their class right now. Despite Texas' dominance, I can see lots of positive signs.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value here to be had from the side of UST going forward. They are playing against a very, very tough team, and at least, doing that in the search and destroy is something to at least be proud of, right? Especially when you know that this is a low point for the squad and you're still performing like that. Something to at least keep in the back pocket for later. Vault Control is up next, and a very interesting map that is for control. We saw it on the search. We're going to have to see it here yet again for the control. Texas looking very, very solid on the hard point. And, I mean, I got to say, it's one of those moments where it's UST trying to fight back. But without further ado, let's send it to a break as we get map 3 underway and get things started for the end of this series. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for our last series of the day and potentially last map if this continues the way of Texas A&M. It's been an interesting series. UST in that last map giving Texas a run for their money, but overall in the control looking very dominant for the side of Texas. Now coming into a control on the same map, Vault. We'll see if Texas will repeat history or will be UST at least doing something here on the control.
Absolutely, and I mean, of course, we do float over to the beautiful scenery of Iraq, and just what can be mentioned in terms of control in this particular map. Well, A is a Goliath in itself. Very hard to attack on any side, really, but particularly when you're on the offense. For a large portion of the start of the year, Remy, nobody could ever convert an attacking round on this map, and it was a consistent round fiver. Rewind to about a month ago now, from the start of the game, January time, some of the top teams started taking attacking rounds. Now in this portion, attacking rounds are very viable, and floating from A to B or vice versa is an open book. So this one for Texas, it's about testing the strategy on Vault control. For UST, same regard as well. Both teams have the same expectations. Can you perform a well-oiled control map? And also in the same token of gratitude, how confident are you in really converting some of the hardest tick progressions we have seen so far in Call of Duty? And I mean, when you actually float over towards the control scores as well, for both teams, both have positive records. Vault Control, Texas A&M are currently 2-1, and UST are 2-0. So, Remy, could be even closer than the S&D.
I mean, the thing is, right, like, I talked about this earlier, and I'll talk about it again, where, you know, maps specifically is a good talking point, where Call of Duty players have always had to adapt. They've always had to work things out, ban certain things, you know, just change the rule set to make it a competitive game. And I think Protocol was another example of that, where people hated the map at the start. It's become more and more likable and playable for a lot of teams, and that's where we're seeing a little bit more of it, and some more teams comfortable on it. I think that just goes to show, you know, the ingenuity of the COD community. But so far, we're going to be sitting here on control, on Vault, map 3 between these two teams, head to head. Nothing really on the line, but that still won't stop UST from trying. Waldo now going to be the first one to come on in, and it will be an attack, I believe, for UST. Unfortunately, some kills going their way, and not really much value going out.
A player touches the point. That, of course, is Slicks from UST. But looking at the way Texas A&M have positioned themselves here, it's a wonderful block, and a player right from the north side, that's going to be Blake, opens up a lovely section where we can see the trap start to be planted for Texas A&M. Look at how they're spreading this out well. Reading the spawns, when a player's pushed too far deep, Lunosity is calling again for the adjustment and calling for players to look towards the northeast side of the map. And still, UST stalled for the most part here on the opener, 6 lives down.
Nice skill from Haz to trade it out. It's good patience coming in from Koala. Knows he's going to try and chell through pool. Slick's trying to get the kill off the top rope. Does find it. Oh, and a second turn and burn onto Josiah as well. Fortunately, doesn't quite get the read on the player top window, but he was playing well there. Slicks on the reads. Still no progress to be made from UST. Some lives dropping as well. They do get a wave of kills, so that will allow them to get on the A zone. A tick here would be nice. While they're in an awkward gunfight, trying to get the 1, but the nade gets the job done. Now you can see A getting that progress, starting to lock in. UST looking pretty solid on the attack so far. Josiah with the flank, maybe able to find 1. Getting out pressured as well. Does find 2. I don't think it's enough to clear the point. An A zone might be UST's if they continue this.
Fantastic work. Operationally speaking, they are a unit, Remy. There is no denying here from UST and the 4-stack just how quick it is to scale yourself up now towards B. I mean, already Slicks is on the point. Koala's trying to get some exit kills in mid, but simply put, the pressure's been dealt with by his teammates. Huge thanks to Blake and Lunosity for now not just allowing Koala to push through spawns, but again, try and stall here. A 5-life difference here, 9 to 14, a maximum of 2 waves left from UST. Have to hold every single kill now from here to the start of progression on B, because a minute left on the clock, more room for Texas A&M to set up.
Ooh, nice shots from Lunosity. 6 to 12, not a lot of lives UST can work with, no respawns remaining at all now. Was at least a decent attack, 3 ticks. We'll set themselves up nicely. You still want that round 5 defense, something to constantly keep in mind, especially when you're playing this map. Texas, though, doing a nice job on the defense so far, 2 versus 11. Think it'll all be all but done here as he gets taken out. And Texas with the first round, but not a terrible attack, not a phenomenal one, pretty in the middle if you were to look at that objectively, and it's going to need to be good defense from UST.
No denying just how good that was, but at the same token, I'm also looking at how they're spreading the map, and equally so, what did UST do really well? And for me, again, they broke out the original spawn trap. They had really good players in the form of Haz and Valdo, routing with subs through the south side of the map, which is the main open hole in Texas's defense. But opening up the preceding system around, look at their attack. 3 dead in the middle. And a lovely move from Blake. The Catalyst so far under control. On for streaks. Continuing his progress. And so's Velocity as well, Remy.
Yeah, already. So much value coming through. No lives lost at all from Texas. They cap A immediately. Time added to the clock. Slick's now trying to get some value. The Koala pushed up. Might be able to get some spawn trap here. Not quite. Has pressured out. Does find the kill as well. Koala, I believe, running out of bullets or Lunosity. But you can afford to lose these lives, honestly. If you're Texas, you've got a lot of time to work with to chip away at B. It's not the easiest site in the world or zone to grab, but it is doable, and it takes a few waves of kills, so to regroup, reset, and not to stagger is the aim of the game here, and we'll see if Texas can re-engage.
They've opened up a hole now from Palace, thanks to Koala, but the pressure at the front's dealt with. Vanity's out onto the respawn screen. Now UST have to push through the middle of the map. No one from Texas A&M is routing there, so the flank is still open if UST opt to choose to use it, Remy. But look at the way in which they're pathing this now. Now 19 to 23, their phenomenal start, and probably the best start you could have, 30 lives going into a B cap, has been diminished. They got very aggressive, didn't really clear Palace enough, and it's now opened up room for UST to get some kills on the board and finally alleviate some pressure.
Great kills coming the way of Texas so far. Lives pretty even. Texas still with a slight lead. 3 to be exact. Still trying to attack this B zone. Only a minute left now. So UST doing a great job of stalling this push, stalling this attack, and it's dwindling down the time and the resource that Texas have. But now we finally got someone on the point. It is a contest spot. It's not the greatest to be in, and Slicks throughout the mid, but that's 2 more, and now Texas are in on this zone. You've got a tick at least coming through here at the very least. Another kill coming in from Koala. Everyone's locking in. Everyone's got ARs. The stun is good, though. Haz does get dropped, and now you can start to see so many kills going the way of Texas. Really not losing any time as well off of that. They do almost get that tick, potentially, but only 2 waves remaining for UST. In 40 seconds, it's more than doable to force their hand, force them to play up, force them to use those lives, and that's what we might see from Texas.
Oh, Texas as well have started trophying, but they haven't trophied Van yet, which hasn't been exploded. So UST can throw nades onto there and push players off the point, ready for a set of kills. Then also as well as flanked through the underground portion of the map, and really open up time here. Now the nades come in, trophies onto Van. Yeah, this is a very safe strategy from Texas. A wide swing from Haz is of no use. One last wave remaining.
Yeah, no respawns. This is do or die now for UST in this round. 24 seconds left on the clock. Lunosity continuing to rack up this time. They at least get an extra tick on the attack, sorry, but it's all down to 1. Voldo does find 2. 22 seconds left. He'd have to have a miracle 1 versus 4. I don't think it's going to be possible. Jumping around the van, Texas barely injured out in that round to get an attacking round win, and that's a 2-0. I believe that is the nail in the coffin. UST now on an attacking round have to win it. 2-0 down to the series and control. It's not looking good I mean, it's insane stuff out of Texas. UST, though, at least giving them a somewhat of a run for their money here in a lot of these engagements, a lot of these situations. It's not an outclassing that we saw in the hard point. It has been far more interesting the last two maps.
We did say again, the Sun Belt is one of the groups of death here, Remy. A heavily stacked division, lots of ranked opponents to come against, and UST were always fighting an uphill battle. But still, I mean, look at their record and look at the control they've been playing so far against a formidable opponent in Texas A&M. They've been putting in some fantastic routes. Set nades have been clinical, but really, Koala having an absolute storm of a map. And Lugnosity's routes as well, crucial to mention. Now, opening up on A. One last fight. Control now goes Texas A&M. Swinging a player from Blake's portion and Sad Sire as well, watching the pinch. So Valdo's taking out the map, and they're now starting to employ a deep trap.
Yeah, once this trap starts to come in, it gets very dangerous. Koala, deep slide, finds that kill somehow. Wow. Was not expecting him to come out on the top of that. Live's still pretty even. They're trying to go for the spawn trap, but it's not really going their way. Next, I see Lugnocity get in on the action, trying to shoulder left and right. Not going to happen. Slicks gets rid of him, sorry. And you're still left with a slight advantage at best if you're Texas. 40 seconds is the aim of the game, though. Not a lot of time to work with. As still in their backline, causing a lot of damage, stopping these rotations early. And if they can't deal with Haz, this could be a very easy A cap and potentially B, because they are in on this zone and they're making it very difficult. Unfortunately, Blake comes in the backline and stops their attack.
And again, Haz is just farming right now for a streak, and he hasn't left Palace at all. Fantastic work, covering Art as well. It's just an awkward route, and unfortunately, no cruise missile to be earned. So now watch the strategy UST from this position. All four dead. A reposition now and a large pivot from Texas A&M towards the north side of the map. They're covering mid. No one's touching time. Trap is set in as well from Koala. It's very punishing, Rem.
Yeah, this could be the final moments we're seeing of UST. It's very difficult. It's very tough. They're trying to get through, but there's so many players in the middle of the map now. Voldo up top, looking to try and get this pick. 3 of his teammates drop. He's the last man standing with 2 seconds left. And unfortunately for UST, that series is done and dusted. A quick 3-0 from Texas. They tried their best, but against all odds, they really didn't have much of a chance. Fate seems to be against them. Unfortunately, making bottom cut and then... not making top cut, sorry, and then... coming up against a tough team that's doing, everything that they can to stop you. I mean, look at that from Josiah. Wow, I missed that, but everyone in Texas was playing unreal. I mean, you got to give it to them.
No denying it, but Haz as well from UST to mention, very crucial as well in the final stages there, and could have turned around if the cruise missile were to be earned. But wow, Lugnocity, Koala, 2 players we have to mention in that control, held their own and won crucial fights in the middle of the map. That is where the primary focus of the gunfights will take place, and they're winning the large portion of them. So the control was always in their hands, and they covered the map beautifully. A 3-0 in the series, and looking at their standing as well, probably second placed in the final roundup of the Sun Belt in this division. And again, commiserations to UST. Not in the top cut. A crucial series before this one to mention, where they had to win on strict conditions. 2-0ing both series earlier on, and winning on a 6-3 map count would have at least given them a chance in this one. But I guess that's how the tale goes, especially with this series being laid out as it was. Texas just had it convincingly, and even if UST were to try in this series, or even have a better footing, should we say, to position themselves in a chance to get into the upper bracket, Texas was still Texas. Middle team, 12th best in America. No denying just how good they are.
Yeah, we've come to expect this from Texas, and unfortunately for UST, they just come up against a tough matchup right now. And, that's the worst thing that can happen when you're not necessarily in the best mentality for a series. And I got to give them credit. They really did try and play to win. They tried to play well, and they did play well. Just Texas just playing better, just doing what they do best. And, that's just how the cookie crumbles. There's not much you can do about it. But yeah, GG's to both teams. Texas playing pretty well and deserving that win. UST as well. Just honestly, props to them for showing up and giving us a game as well when there's no benefit to it. But they did give it a crack, for a bit of pride. But that's going to be it from us, Connie. It's been an absolute pleasure casting. And we'll see you guys next time on CCL. So stay tuned for that. But it has been, I believe there's division restructure now. These are the last matches. So it'll be interesting to see how the next stage of the season goes ahead. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back with some more CCL later on. That's it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.